This is our budget studio. Behind the scenes. This is our backlight. All right. Now.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on, it's rolling, so I'm just gonna.
All right, let me disappear. Goodbye.
Batches. All right. Welcome to my new podcast, Torres Has Entered the Chat. I'm your host, Brian Torres. I'm so excited to bring a fresh new approach to my podcast and share topics that highlight social issues and mental health. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, where I saw a lot of messed up things that made me want to get into law enforcement. I decided to join the NYPD School Safety Division, where I discovered that I had a passion for people and helping others. That being said, we're going to veer off the serious stuff for a bit as I introduce the illustrious, most splendiferous, amazing, intelligent, strong woman in my life, my wife, Crystal Torres.
Thank you. Care to explain what this is?
This is Crystal Torres, recipient of the Dundee for Best Rack Award. Yes, I got her one.
Eat your heart out, bitches.
And we're just going to keep this light and friendly and go over a few questions, to start us off.
I'm your first guest.
My first guest.
What an honor. That's amazing. I think that deserves another round of applause.
See what I got to put up with?
Yes. All right. Awesome. All right, so what are we talking about today, Torres?
So some questions we're just going to go over, keep this lighthearted. The first one is, do you believe in love at first sight?
That's not lighthearted.
I want to hear it.
That's not a lighthearted question.
Go for it.
Do I believe in love at first sight?
Regale us with this story.
It depends on the person. I think for us, it was kind of like that. I feel like we do what we wanted as soon as we met. I guess in the spirit of our upcoming anniversary, this is a good conversation to have. But yeah, it really depends on the person. I don't know.
Actually, this was a while ago. We're coming on 14 years married, and
15.
15. But
Oh boy.
we've got 14 years in. I had hair a long time ago, so I think that was more of the deciding factor. Take that to account. I'm clearly bald as we record this, but so you could kind of see, see, bald.
He's still cute.
Big, bald, and beautiful. So, do I believe in love at first sight? I never really believed in love at first sight. And then I met her, and it's funny because she was like dorky glasses, librarian look and whatnot. She sat there and she was all mesmerized by my glorious hair, no beard, abs. And again, this was a while ago, all right? Cut me some slack.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, very long time. I'll admit that. But you kind of sometimes right off the bat when something fits, when something works right, kind of like the Cinderella slipper thing, except in real life, this was something else altogether. This clearly.
Since we're on the topic.
Oh yeah, here we go. And brought to you by Share.
I just thought it was an appropriate song.
Yeah, clearly.
We'll stop now before the copyright police come after us.
All right. What are some of your biggest challenges in a relationship?
Putting up with your ass.
I'm an ass. I can admit that too. I'm an ass.
Okay, all jokes aside, I don't know. I feel like at this point in life, our biggest challenge is finding time to be romantic.
Okay. But what about when we were starting, like our relationships, when we first started the relationship?
Definitely getting over our past trauma.
Insecurities, that kind of stuff.
We both had rough upbringings.
Yeah.
So I feel like that played a factor in our ability to connect with each other. It was tough. It was tough. But we also started out young. Like, we met when we were still practically just ending our teenage years, and
Right. Then I went
so
away for a while. Yeah.
like when we essentially like grew up together in a way.
Yeah.
We kind of did.
Well, then to segue, do you remember our first date and where did we go? What happened?
Yes.
That's that dementia kicking in. It took her a minute to like. Go ahead.
You're not funny. I do remember our first date. We went to the park. No, yes, we went to the park and you told me how you felt about me. And then we ate pizza.
Virgin Megastore.
Yeah, we met there first.
You see? She missed out a whole topic.
We met there first, and then we took the train to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then we went to the park, and then we ate pizza.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think she fell in love
and
with
I
the
hid
pizza.
from you in the Virgin Megastore.
Yeah, she was totally gonna like
Oh my
snub
god!
me. She
I was gonna.
I didn't get stand up. All right, I was pretty.
Okay,
I don't get stood up.
I
all right?
saw you walking. I saw you walk in, and I like hid. I was just like sitting at the table, and I was just like, and I was like about to just let you leave the store. I was so nervous.
See, I had an effect on people. Well, here's a good question. Do soulmates really exist? I'll answer that one. Like, I do believe that some people are just so connected that they're soulmates. They are. That they were destined for each other, you know. And that's true for me. That if it's a yes or no, then yeah. But some people, that's not the case. Some people, that's, you know, they're just together for whatever reason, but not us.
Yeah. Again, I feel like I think there's someone out there for everyone. I think there's everyone has their own match. And yeah. So I would say so.
Let's see some of these questions.
Why don't we go into how you're now such a great cat dad?
All right. So I never wanted pets. I never grew up with pets. She's all about animals. Like, she loves animals. She's always liked animals. She's always, you know, played with other people's pets and all that stuff. And I was never an animal person because my mother hated animals. And by extension, I never developed any kind of interaction with them. So I was never that okay, I'm comfortable with animals. And then I had bad experiences with dogs. So, you know, fast forward years, like a decade almost later into my marriage, and Crystal decided to bring home a cat, an orange tabby, known as Miles. Although when we first met him, they called him Pooper, and we're like, "Yo, that's gotta stop. We ain't doing that."
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was not the name for him.
No, so we're like, Miles, and there's actually a little fun story to that. The reason Miles is because of Miles O'Brien from Star Trek. Yes, that really happened.
I always say it's Miles Morales because he's my favorite Spider-Man.
But he don't look like Miles. He's an orange tabby.
It doesn't matter.
Miles O'Brien is Irish. That makes sense.
Miles Morales is badass.
So is Miles O'Brien.
He's like the best Spider-Man. He's the best
Needless
Spider-Man.
to say.
He's my favorite one anyway.
Needless to say, this is some of those struggles that you'll have in the relationship. Communication.
Okay, you're like,
but
what
getting
are we even
into the
talking
cat,
about?
getting into the cat thing. So first she brings home this orange tabby named Miles, and about, was it a year or two later?
It was about a year and a half later.
She was looking online, and somebody was just giving away this tortoiseshell cat, and that was our second cat, Iris. And Iris is like this really cute little pretty face, little kitty. She's adorable. Yeah, she's gorgeous. Yeah. So there's that, and then finally we found this stray came onto our balcony. See, run away, bro. You got the right idea. Just get out of here. Get out.
This is Silky.
This is Silky. He's our third cat. And
The cat distribution system brought him to us.
yeah, it struck again. So here we are with our third cat, and I am now a 3-time cat dad because of one cat. It started with 1 and it multiplied till 3.
You're such a good cat daddy.
Yeah, shut up. So, yeah, that's the cat dad thing. That's how that started. You know, but she's like Dr. Doolittle. She wants every animal and dogs and horses and God knows what else.
Yeah, no, it's not that serious.
All right.
They're pretty, but yeah.
All right. Well, what are 3 things that you think are important in a relationship?
Definitely. I mean, this is gonna sound like the
Cliche.
answers that everybody always gives, but like, it's true though. Like, communication is definitely key. It's very important. I mean, we've lasted now 17 years, almost 18 years together as a couple.
Yeah.
Almost 15 years married. So yeah, communication is definitely key. Counseling is a big one that I never thought as a person I would ever accept. But sometimes if you want to go the long haul, you'll need some mediation. It's important. We're not always going to be in the honeymoon phase if you want longevity.
Can I add to that? And honestly, putting in the work, therapy helps, but it's only going to go as far as the work you're willing to put into it. So you have to be willing to put in the work. You got to be, and that goes for anything, not just in relationships, but just in your own personal mental health. Because again, that's what we're talking about. You know, a lot of societal issues are just stem from not having addressed previous traumas. You know, you get childhood traumas. Like I know her and I come from very turbulent backgrounds, very traumatic backgrounds. And it started in childhood for both of us. So that those were some of the conflicts we were having early on in our relationship that required us to go to therapy and address those issues and then work ourselves out of that. Because it's like being in a hole. You have to, the crazy part is you dig yourself in, you got to dig yourself out too. So it's just as much work coming out. But if you really want to get to the top where you're able to adjust yourself and regulate yourself and operate as a functional member of society, you have to be willing to do the work. And that means you got to heal. You got to, you know, slap some patches on, some bandages, and go out there and do the work. So I'd say that's important in a relationship, being willing to dig deep and do the work.
Yeah.
So that being said.
Wait, that was only 2 things.
Okay.
We said communication. We said counseling / therapy.
All right. Yeah.
All right. What's the third one?
Sex.
Oh, God.
Lots and lots.
I was going to say, I was going to be a little more safe for work and appropriate.
Yeah, they don't want to
and say good food.
Good. No, that's no. Yeah, you know what? Food.
This is
over,
why.
Food over
This
everything.
is why I have a double chin.
No, definitely food. You have to. They're like, oh, love languages. Nah, food, bro.
Just cook
food.
for me and call me pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God. The funny thing is, I do cook. That's a whole nother topic
great.
of conversation.
We both cook.
Yeah, but I enjoy cooking and whatnot. It's fun learning new dishes and whatnot. So, fellas, if you want to catch the witches, you know, definitely learn how to grill up some meats.
Okay,
you know,
that's sexist. Don't refer to women as witches.
Witches, they're not all witches. Just some. Most are. Except for you, you're. What was the cue card? Lustrous, most splendiferous, amazing, intelligent, strong woman in my life.
You better believe it. You are a highly privileged man.
Privileged.
Yes.
She says privileged.
You are so privileged to have me in your life.
Can we cut to a commercial break?
Okay.
Can we cut to a
All
commercial
right, let's
break?
cut to a commercial. This Brian Torres, what is it called? Torres has entered the chat.
Torres is about to leave the chat.
Has been brought to you by Chris Torres Photography. Shameless plug. Oh yeah. The coolest, most badass wedding photographer in the Hudson Valley.
So
Based in Newburgh.
excuse me for 1 second. How has your perspective on mental health changed over time? Because we talked about therapy, we talked about counseling. You know, how's that changed over time? Like, what you thought about it back then versus now?
Yeah, I would say that to be honest and a little open on here, I was the one who was more reluctant to even receiving any type of mental health care or counseling when we were going through like a rough patch a few years ago. But when I decided to give it a chance and I went through with it, I actually realized how helpful it could be. And how, I mean, not every therapist is for every person. If you don't connect with your therapist, if you don't feel like they're doing a good job, or your counselor, whoever you're speaking to, find a different one until
Honestly,
you get a good fit.
To add to that, like, honestly, therapists are like shoes. And I know it sounds crazy, for all you therapists out there watching, but just hear me out. You have to find the one that fits right. Sometimes shoes are too wide, too long, too narrow, so it doesn't help you go to where you have to go. But a good therapist is like a good shoe. It'll fit you properly, and it'll take you where you need to go. And that's important. You have to find somebody who's able to draw out the stuff that you need from yourself and to attack it.
Right. So yeah, I feel like that my perspective has changed ever since experiencing it for myself, doing my own self-healing and therapy, and also doing couples therapy, couples counseling. I see like how beneficial it really can be, when you're looking for healing, when you're, it's just a helpful tool. Yeah. It really is.
And from the male perspective, I grew up in Brooklyn, and I'll be real, like, there's a whole stigma about you got to be a hard dude, you got to be, tough all the time, and there's a stigma surrounding therapy, and it's very hard to let go of that stigma when you're about that life, or you grew up in a very hostile environment. So all you know is hardness, like how to be calloused, how to be, socially distant. And it's important for us guys, now that we're getting older and we're having kids, we don't want to continue the cycle of trauma in our own children. We want to do better than the last man. That's the idea. And to deal with that, you're going to have to face that monster in the mirror, and that monster is you. You have to get rid of the stigma. And, it's scary. I think that a lot of dudes don't want to admit it, but therapy's scary because you got to do work. And sometimes in that work, they're scared of what they might find, especially you have old memories come up in therapy. And, it's again, it is scary, but if you want to be a complete person, the kind of person that's able to, especially if you have kids, be a good parent or be an engaging parent, put in the work.
All right.
Yeah. So that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed this little tidbit, and
it's a little preview.
Yeah, it's a little it's a little bit about us. Hope you enjoyed.
Maybe I'll be a guest another time. Why not? I was a good guest.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. I was a great guest. Hold on. Here we go. The audience agrees.